CV decides whether you will be called for an interview or not. Right? So very important thing is remember they see your CV before they have met you. Your CV is the raw material for your questions. Now you go to some company as a fresher or maybe with little bit of experience of 1 or 2 years or even any experience. What are they going to talk to you? What are they going to ask you? They are going to ask you whatever you have written in your CV. Right? What you have not written in your CV, they are not interested. So they are just going to match your CV, whatever you have written or whatever you have highlighted, with their questions, and then they form a judgment about you. A few things on what to do. Elaborate your education, co-curricular activities and internships if you're done. Right? Say for example, it's a technical job. Just don't write that I am a petroleum engineer or I'm a chemical engineer or management guy or a marketing professional. Say what you have studied in petroleum. Just a brief of whatever subjects you have done. Maybe you have gone to some labs. Maybe you have gone through some industrial visits. Internships. What did you do in the internships? Co-curricular activities to highlight your attitude, your personality. Highlight that. But again, a small tip again here is do not say that I won the third prize in school when I was in fourth standard. No, nobody is interested in your fourth standard. Handwriting competition में मैंने first standard में I was Ahmedabad first. Who cares? Right? Do or show something of last 4 to 5 years only. Even if you've done something in your ninth, do not show it. Mainly of your college, because that is the professional step you have taken, and they are going to match your college achievements or your subjects with the job requirement they have. Right? Most of the companies, they, or rather all of them I would say, are not interested what you have scored in your JEE, what your maths or physics were in your 11th and 12th. They are interested in your latest college because they want somebody with that a particular education. Right? So strength, you have to highlight your strengths. Achievements, as I said, recent ones. Getting a certificate is not an achievement, remember. Participating in international conference is not an achievement. Participating in a tournament is not an achievement. If you won some medals, some best awards, then it's an achievement. USP, unique selling point. What is one thing? Say, for example, you are a petroleum engineer. There are 120 petroleum engineers only from PDPU looking for jobs every year. Right? If you are a chemical engineer, there may be a few thousand chemical engineers in the entire country. How are you different? What is unique about you? 1 or 2 points. That is something you need to highlight. Right? Who you are, what you have done, and very important aspect. Remember what they want to see. I tell you this as a former HR manager or somebody who has run a company. What are you capable of doing? Today you may be a fresher or maybe with 1 or 2 years of experience. But what are you capable of doing? Are you capable enough to become a manager in future after 5 years? Can you be given some responsibility? Do you have a learning curve? Of course, as a fresh engineer, they don't expect you to have the knowledge of somebody with 10 years of experience. Definitely. If I'm going to recruit sales officer, a fresh MBA for sales or marketing department, I know he's not going to match a manager of the marketing division. But can he be in next 5 or 8 years reach up to that level? Right? Match the need of the job. You need to know what they want. What is their job description? So read advertisements or whatever you from the job portals and then match it. You may have to change your CV for every application, little bit here and there, right? Update your CV regularly. Now, those who are from PDPU, I'll give you a very relevant example. Most of your faculties, including your directors, they update their CVs regularly. They are not looking for jobs, remember. But still they add, if they have presented a paper, if there's a publication, delivered a lecture, they put it in the CV, right? Because your CV is the path which tells you where you are going. And after a year, if you see your CV, it will tell you what you are lacking. Maybe if I put my CV, I come to know that I have published 3 papers or 6 papers in last 2 years. I have attended 2 conferences. But I might come to know that I have not gone out of for attending any workshop or attending any other for enhancing my knowledge. So this is where your updation of CV will be helpful. And do it regularly. See CVs of senior and experienced people in your field. This is a question for all of you. Maybe you can answer it later on if you want, or you can answer yourself. If you are in 3rd year or 4th year, how many CVs have you seen of experienced people in your field? Have you seen CV of manager who is working in a factory, a petroleum engineer who completed his engineering 5 years ago, even alumni of your college? Have you seen their CV, latest CV? Right, see that. It will give you an idea what is there in the right market now. It will give you an idea how to prepare your CV or where you are going. Right? It is a very simple case study. It is like your Google map. If you are traveling with a Google map, you come to know how many kilometers are there far away, what is going to be there, the traffic. The Google map shows there is going to be traffic, you can take a detour or something. So this would be very, very important. And again, it is not for freshers, it is for everybody. Right? Even we, with more than 20 years of experience, we see the CVs of people who are maybe experience of our level, little less or maybe more. We just see to get an idea what others are doing, how things are going on, right? Job portals. How many of you are aware about job portals? When I say job portals, Naukri.com, Monster.com, there are so many job portals, right? How many of you are aware and how many of you have seen that? You might have uploaded your CV on Naukri.com or some job portal. Good. If you have done that, good. If you have not done that, I would recommend it, prepare a nice CV and put it on those platforms, even LinkedIn, for example. But apart from that, what I would recommend is visit the job description. Say, for example, a petroleum engineer. Naukri.com will enable you for a search of petroleum engineer. You just search the term petroleum engineer and you will get 30, 40 positions of different companies, what they want. Right? So this will be a survey sitting at home. Internet nowadays is very helpful as all of us are sitting home. And you come to know what companies or which companies are recruiting, what are they offering, what type of jobs they want, right? Say for example, I did this with one of the software companies and with some software students. They did a wonderful exercise for 3 months in one college. They formed a team and then they made a list of companies in Ahmedabad and Gujarat that which companies offer jobs for a particular domain. There were 30 companies who were looking for .NET developers. There are 40 plus companies looking for Java developers. There are so many companies looking for open source developers. So with this, it will be your survey. And this will be your survey, a wonderful survey. If you ask about my domain today, I can tell you about universities in Gujarat and top universities in India, what they are looking for and what they will be looking for in next 2 years. Right? I do not want to change the job. Again, it is not that you do it to change the job, but just to update your CV, just to know how the market trends are going on. Right? Proper formatting, very, very important. Language and spell check. Make sure that your language is right and spell check. You can take help of somebody, your faculty or whoever. Two more points, what not to do. Well, Control C, Control V. What do you mean? Copy paste. When we talk about CV, avoid Control C, Control V, copy paste. If you copy paste from your seniors, your alumni, or from any of the formats available on the net, there is bound to be some error. And you may not know what you have written. But if you prepare your own CV, you come to know what you have written. Right? Say, for example, you go for an interview after sending an application, and these people, remember the people who are going to take the interviews have lot more experience than you have. For you, you might have appeared for 5 or 10 interviews, right? As a candidate, I have appeared for maybe 10 interviews, but as an HR manager, I have taken more than 100. So obviously, you are not going to appear for more interviews in your lifetime than you are going to take. So these people will be able to catch very easily. So do not copy paste. For each job, even if the same position is there, right? Mechanical engineer for a plant or chemical engineer with downstream experience or so, then also change the CV. Don't use abstract terms, adjectives, hardworking, honest, intelligent. Once or twice it is okay. But if you use 5 terms about you, I am intelligent, right? There are people on the other side of the table, as I told you, who are far more intelligent. They'll prove in 3 minutes or in three questions that you are not intelligent or your knowledge is not so much. Right? So do not boast or do not use adjectives. Something which cannot be proven. Use terms which can be proven. Don't go into too many details. Leave it to the interview. Right? If you say, I participated or I presented a paper in international conference, just write 1 or 2 lines on so and so topic. International conference, I went to Dehradun Petroleum University, I presented, or I went to IIT Mumbai and I presented a paper on so and so. That's it. Don't write more about it. Leave it to the interview. You don't have to write or you don't have to publish with your CV. Don't praise yourself. Remember, there is difference between highlighting your strengths, showing your capacity, and praising yourself. Do not praise yourself, right? There is also a tone in your written communication or in your CV. Just put the facts. You did not praise yourself. Just put the facts. The facts will praise what you are, right? If today president of PDPU, Mukesh Ambani, has to put his CV, he is not going to praise himself, right? मैंने ये किया वो किया, nothing. You just have to put 10 points. What is he? Rest is enough. So that's it. That's good enough. So don't praise yourself. Don't use many industry jargons or make claims just to show your knowledge. This is one of the errors I'm highlighting here because the engineering people or technical people make. Right? They just want to show knowledge and they use many industry jargons. Don't do it. You'll get a chance to show your knowledge when the interview is there. Using jargons is not the right knowledge. Don't make claims. I can do this and I can do that. Do not make claims in your CV. Never. Right? At the most, if you want, you can say, I can try, I can learn, I would like to do this. Right? But do not guarantee or make claim. First person again should be avoided. Start sentences with verbs. Don't write, I want to learn, or if given a chance, I can learn. Just begin with learning new skills or learning, working in your organization will help me in learning. Right? That's important. Golden rule, don't bluff. Never, never bluff. Either in your CV or in your interview. Don't bluff. Because when the interview is going on, you do not know what they want from you. I'll give you two examples. One is from a film which all of you have seen, I'm sure. It is Three Idiots. If you remember, in the movie, there is that scene at the end. You know, the campus placement is going on, and that boy, I think it was Raju, who tried to commit suicide, and then he was very straightforward and very blunt. And then these people say that, see, you are very straightforward. You don't lie, and we don't want such straightforward people. Right? If the customer is there and if you tell everything frankly and bluntly, the customer may go away. So we want somebody who can also twist or maybe a little bit of lying or can play with words. And the boy said no. And then he was selected. What they wanted is a person who is honest. Remember, technical knowledge, they already have more than you. Right? They have more options in terms of candidates. You are going for your job, but they have 25 people sitting like you outside wanting the job. So what is something that they want is a good person with the right attitude, learning attitude, who will be good for the company, and if at all not good for the company, not bad for the company. Right, so that is one thing. One more example and we go to the next point. Long ago, uh, in USA, there was this campus recruitment going on, and the CEO of DuPont, if you've heard of DuPont, DuPont is one of the largest Fortune 500 companies in the world, a very old company manufacturing so many things. The CEO of DuPont went to, I think he went to Columbia or Yale University for interview. Right? He wanted engineers, chemical engineers, and he himself was an alumni of Yale. So he went there, and then he met his old professors, and then he took the interview. With his panel, of course, there are HR people or others. Now the CEO, he asked only one question. There were 14 or 15 candidates, and he asked only one question: that how much mercury is there in mercury oxide? How much mercury is there in mercury oxide? And he said, we manufacture this mercury oxide, so we want to know. And they were all chemical engineers, remember, freshers. So all of them, turn by turn, they bluffed. Some said 4%, some said 10, some said 20, some said 40. Right. And the CEO did not ask any other question. He just asked one question. Even his old senior professor was there, his old professor only where he studied. And he understood. So at the end, when he went out, the students gathered and he said, I am not happy. The CEO said, I am not happy with anyone. I am also an alumni of Yale. This professor, so he was also taught me. But I'm not happy. I asked one question, how much mercury is there in mercury oxide? And all of you gave different answers. Then The candidates ask, sir, you tell us what is the right answer. The CEO said there is no mercury in mercuric oxide. The name itself is just mercuric oxide, but it doesn't have mercury. But I wanted to check, not your technical knowledge. I have technical people, I also have 20, 30 years of experience in technical field, he said. But I wanted to check your attitude, whether you have the learning attitude, whether you are truthful, whether you are positive, honest, but all of you have failed in that. So do not bluff, right? They'll be able to catch you very easily. So that's the overall idea that I wanted to share. Now what I'll do is again, I'll also show you one sample CV with the points. Maybe you can, and okay, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so these are general points where you can prepare your CV, right? What are the points that you will include in your CV? These are general points. There may be more, you can add more, but these are the basic requirements. More we just add without any reason. Certification and courses. Now again, these are basic things we you all know. Objective. One more thing on career objective. Now, if you Google, you will find a few lakh suggestions on career objectives, right? Only two tips on career objectives. Prepare your own simple one or two lines at the most, not more, right? If you think that career objective is very, very important, again, forget it. 90% of the people who are going to take your interviews or who are going to decide about your employment, they do not care or they do not read your career objectives because it is an abstract thing, right? Everybody knows. The experienced people know that objectives, things will change so fast. So don't make it so fancy. Do not fret much about it. Put one or two lines, that's it. But the important points are your certification on courses, right? Whatever is pertinent. If you have done 1 day course or certification, do not add that. Do not say that I went to so and so private organization. Show certification which are recognized by some institute, government body, some university. So for example, students of PDPU go to our neighbor GNLU for a short certification on contract drafting or business law, right? Patent law, that is fine. But if any other organization, a private organization or an NGO does it, it is not valid unless the NGO is too big, like UNICEF or so. So show courses, certification which are pertinent. Just showing 20 things will not be helpful. 2 to 3 things which are really helpful. Skills or core competence. Show your skills or core competence. Remember, do not show or just list it down. The people who are going to take your interview, they have techniques to measure your skills. If you say I have confidence, I have presence of mind, if I have communication skills, I have XYZ skills, there are experts who will easily measure whether you have written just like that or you really have that skill. Right? Employment history, yes, if you have experience. Employment history can be in ascending or descending. That is the first job first or the last job first. Better to show last job first. But if you are there as a fresher, you can mention your internships or your industry visits if they are long. If you're going to ONGC plant or if you've been to Reliance for 1 or 2 days, or as Bhavani sir takes you to Kutch, right, for some more days, that is fine, but not just one day. And what did you do at that particular time? Or if you have been for internship for 1 or 3 months, what did you do? What did you learn? Job title, again, if you are currently employed, you might have a job title junior, senior engineer, assistant manager, whatever. Affiliations. You are a member of SPE, that is a professional affiliation. Right? So any professional body in your field is a professional affiliation. Social clubs, you can mention if they are very important, like Rotaract or Lions Club or JCs, international bodies. But if there are so many professional bodies, then you can mention. Even if you held some position as a student, you are president of SPE PDPU chapter, you can mention that and you can write what you have done. Research skills, right? Research skills. What have you done in research? If you have written some papers, or if you have helped your faculty or guide in some research project, do it. Right? Faculties, they write research paper or they take research projects, and if they say that, why don't you help me? Students of PDPU know that we have ORSP, Office of Research, where you can take projects. If you have done that, do it, show it. Research skills are very, very important. Even if you are not applying for a research position, this will help a lot, right? Today, research is an integral part of any field. Even if you are going to be in marketing, your research skills is going to be helpful. Data gathering, how do you analyze your data, and how this research will help you and the organization in enhancing the work and business. That's where research comes. Publications, as I mentioned, if you have attended conferences, if you have published papers, even in your own college, it is fine, right? But you say, I have my own blog, that is not a publication. I have published so many things on Facebook and Instagram. You can publish 1 million. Narendra Modi has 60 crores, you can have 6 lakhs, doesn't make any difference. Publication which is valid in some book, in some journal, in some magazine or some newspaper, only that can be shown. Seminars, conferences, trainings attended. As a student, if you show that I attended a conference, it is fine, not as a professional. If I show that I attended a conference, it doesn't make any difference. I have to show that I presented a paper, or I was a chairperson or a keynote speaker in that. If you attended any training, right, it could be any training. Even for example, right now, CV, right, how to develop CV, how to build your communication skills, how to face interview, small trainings. Grants and fellowships. If you have some grants from government, private bodies, NGOs, fellowships from your college or any part, even there are so many social organizations, even from community and castes. Right? There are communities in India, we are so many castes and communities. If you are doing something well, 80%, 90% in 12th, they are given some scholarships. You can mention that. Definitely you can do that. Awards and honors, right? You should begin with your college. Even after 20 years of experience, do not show before the college thing, just from your college. You are first in the quiz competition in PDPU, wonderful. You participated in IIT hackathon and you got best solution or best speaker award or something, good, mention that. But something which is not in the college, do not mention. As I said, 5th standard, 6th standard, 9th standard, don't mention, it is of no use. It may not create good impression, on the contrary, it creates bad impression. References, right? Again, references, when you say you have a reference of your HOD or somebody working there, you have done internship in ONGC or Oman refinery or wherever, take the reference letter, inform the referee that you have taken it and you'll be using it. Just 2 references would be good enough, right? Finally, some practical tips which can be there. I can share it even in the group if you want. I can share it, send it to SP people and they can give it to you. A few examples how you can make your CV better. There are weak statements and active statements. This is a technical word for CV writing. If you write responsible, for example, responsible for developing a new filing system. When you write developed a new filing system that reduced paperwork by 50%. See the difference, right? I was in charge of customer complaint and all ordering problems. Handle customer complaints. Last 2, if you see, account manager for an advertising agency. Manage 15 strategic accounts. Billing in excess of 15 million. Increase sales up to 17%, right? Now the difference between weak statement and active statement is the active statement has something which is tangible, right? You are engineers and you know better, tangible. If I say that I want to prepare a big table, what do you mean by a big table, right? Length, breadth, you have to mention it. There is a big machine, right? That is an adjective. But in engineering terms, the technical terms, you need to have something which is tangible, right? Finance term also should be used. If you say XYZ is very rich, what do you mean by rich? He has 2 cars. Okay, compare him with a tycoon, right? Nothing. So tangible things. In your CV, you should use all these action-oriented words. When I told you, you should mention your activities and whatever you've done in your internships in your college, you can use these action-oriented words. Achieved. For example, your SPE people can write coordinated SPE webinars, 4 webinars, right? Because it shows something which is tangible. Initiated a project, achieved, accomplished. These are the words. I installed a machine in our laboratory. Performed, administered the use of Microsoft Teams software to the students of ADPU. Right? This shows your performance. Action shows your performance. And everybody wants performance. What you have done. Generated sponsorship for Petro Cup of 50,000. Good. Right. So that is something you have to write. Operated so and so machine in the laboratory. That is something which people want to see, and that will give you mileage. So such words, such terminology is very, very important, and these things should be used, right? Okay. Now I would like to rest my points here. Just a general idea. CV writing is something you need to practice. It is like running or sports. I'm sure many of you would be playing sports. I cannot just have a theory of sports. You have to practice it, right? There can be a few theories here and there, but unless you practice it, you put it, you see some of the CVs, you show your CV to a few people who are experienced in academics, your faculties, or who have done something in the corporate world, and take tips from them. That will make a CV really very good, right? So that's the point from my side. Now, if there are questions, I would welcome them.
That was such an informative session, sir.
Yes.
If anyone has any questions, they can drop it in the chat box. We can read it out for you.